New books are coming out tomorrow. There's a bunch of great stuff, and we're going to showcase some of it right now. Pick of the week for challengers, and my first choice is Gospel #1. Perhaps you've heard Will Morris talk about it on our podcast, Contest of Challengers. This book is gorgeous, it is amazing, and it is a story all about stories and how stories take their own shape. It's amazing.
Hi, I am also on this episode, and I picked Gospel as well. I loved it for a lot of the same reasons Patrick did. I think the art's gorgeous. I think the choreography in it, the action sequences are really well done. Just a blast to read and super fun to think about.
New from Boom Studios, Specs #1. Remember those ads in the back of comic books where you can send away for 3D glasses? I'm sorry, X-ray glasses. This is about two kids who get them, and they're haunted. The glasses reveal horrible, horrible things. Super fun and see-through.
Speaking of see-through, that's Susan Storm. She's not in this issue of Fantastic Four #1. The brand new start to Ryan North's take on the Fantastic Four. It's an oversized issue. It's kind of unusual in that it is maybe focused less on 4 characters and maybe just 2. I really enjoyed it. It's a very strong concept. Ryan North is going to be doing stuff that's a little bit less grandiose and a little less epic and a little bit more, let's have like a fun science adventure for an issue. Super easy to pick up. If you weren't reading the Dan Slott stuff, pick this up. If you were reading the Dan Slott stuff and want something a little different, pick this up. Covers are great. There's a whole bunch of them.
Speaking of science-y, the year is 2048, and
What?
we're about to put a man on Mars.
Oh my God!
This
the
is
time change.
I know. You think it's daylight savings time. It's the future.
Oh wow!
This is the first man on Mars. Who is he? Why is he going? And why does no one care about him? Even though he's the most famous person in the world? Don't worry, he's not the hero of this book. Written by Mark Russell, who does no wrong.
They sent Elon Musk to Mars after all. Death of Superman, 30th anniversary special. Probably the biggest DC book of the week, maybe the biggest DC book of the year that doesn't have Spawn in it. A very cool celebration of the classic Death of Superman comic by a lot of the creators that were working on the Superman books back then. So Dan Jurgens, Brett Breeding, Louise Simonson, John Bogdanove, a whole bunch of really cool creators. I have not had a chance to really sit down with this whole thing yet. I did page through it. It's one of those DC books that I think maybe a lot of people, even folks that weren't around for the original, should kind of pick up and page through, see if it's up your alley.
I read it, and it is modern, but a huge throwback to that time period with all those creators, all those characters. It does not feel like 30 years ago. Especially, it doesn't feel like 30 years ago when there's a new WILDCATS #1 out. That's right, there's a new WILDCATS. Dal?
New Golden Age. Here's a book. This is a thing that is in my hands. I have not read this yet. I did look at a little internet post that this comic book contains big old fake Who's Who pieces for a lot of newly created characters. If you want to learn all about the brand new Golden Age Red Lantern, this is a book that has his information. There's also a story in front of it. I didn't read that yet. Maybe it'll be good. Jeff Johns, Justice Society, classic Golden Agey stuff.
New from Image, Two Graves #1. It is a modern retelling of the myth of Persephone via a road trip with two different artists telling different parts of the story, and one of them is one of our favorites, Annie Wu.
And Ming Dole's the other one. She's one of my favorites. I really liked that book.
I'm sorry, did you say that?
I have an amazing ventriloquist act
Wow.
that you have to find out about.
Wow. Also new this week, a #2, Kaya.
Or #2.
I hadn't read #1 at the time we did this for #1. I read #1. It was excellent. It is a wonderful all-ages story that really, there's more for adults than kids, but it's like a modern-day Bone. Loved it. #2 is out now. We have plenty of #1s. And there you go. All the books for the week that are fun and exciting and on the ground.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to clean all these up.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.